Hey guys, welcome back to UKDiver. If it's your first time here, then just welcome, and welcome to episode 1 of the Malta series. So guys, if you've not dove Malta, then you really should. And in this series, I'm going to show you the kind of bread and butter and the bucket list dives that you must do when you go over to Malta. Now, thankfully, the Maltese authorities have sank literally dozens of wrecks. In fact, there was a new one that went down only last month that form artificial reefs for you to dive. Now, for day one, we're actually heading off to Valletta and we're going to do 2 wrecks in Valletta Harbour. Now, because it's in Valletta Harbour, the viz on these wrecks is not the best. But anyway, let me show you what the crack is.
So here we are on our first dive site, guys, and this, what you're looking at in front of you, is St Elmos Fort. Now, this was built back in the day by the Knights Templar in, some AD, like a bazillion years ago, and the simple reason is because this area has always had fabulous military importance. It's one of the deepest harbours in Europe, and Valletta, the city, and St Elmos here basically splits that harbour in half. So if you look at the top of the screen now, like the other side of the city there, that's kind of half of Valletta Harbour. What you're actually looking at now is sort of Valletta, the city itself, the walled city itself, which is beautiful. And when it comes to doing your, off-gassing day, I would definitely recommend an explore around here because it is stunning. Where we're coming in, you see this road at the bottom there, that's where you come in, and in a second you'll see, there you are, that little tunnel. That's where you come under the wall, and then we head to the end and park up and do the dive. And the actual wreck is just in this part of the bay here, which is actually called St Elmos Bay. There's a lower shot of the dive site, guys, and that's us right on the corner there. Here we go, and there you go, you can see the entrance. So we're in the sort of second van from the left sort of thing, and we go down the stairs, and then where those 2 guys have been in for a little dip, that's where you jump in. Here we are. Is Vinny just about to come on? Come on, pal, come on. Ha ha, perfect. So no matter where you dive in Malta, guys, as soon as you jump in, you're going to be greeted with these guys. These are just some little damselfish, and they are literally everywhere, and some of my favourites. Now, looky what we've got here. Is that? I think it is. Yes, it's a Brian Davis from Brian Davis Scuba. So if you've not checked out Brian's channel, I will leave a link down below. But yeah, Brian was very fortunate that he could join us on this, and it was a blast having him around for the week. So anyway, here we are, the Maori. Or, at least, the bow section of the Maori. Now, this is a British destroyer that was blown up in World War II. And, we've heard the story before. It was ablaze. They were towing it out to sea to, find a resting place and all that. And it split in 2. The stern section somewhere else deeper in Valletta Harbour, and the bow section settled here. Now, the last time I was here, which I think was in 2016, you could swim all the way under this. You could fin and get under, and it looks like some recent storms, certainly according to the dive guide, have absolutely sort of flattened it a little bit more, and which is sad, but that's kind of the evolution of wrecks, isn't it? So it's kind of what it is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a fireworm, and it is called a fireworm for very good reason. If you play with fireworms and get fired, I'm not responsible. So there are still some bits that can offer a little bit of a swim through where you can get a little bit of light penetration. Now, I'm not sure how good an idea this is, because as we start to have a look around, you'll see that some of the supporting structure is, getting a bit wafer thin there, isn't it? But, I definitely do it again, because there's like this bit, there's definitely some bits of interest that's worth looking at and worth checking out. And you always get that bit that always is, I find, fabulous. You're in the dark interior and you look around, you've got all this beautiful blue light beaming through, and it just makes the place look amazing. So just forward of that swim through bit, as you come out into the open again, you come across this, which is one of the gun mounts on the bow of the boat. And just forward of that, there are a couple of these mooring bollards, but again, you can see how far the storms have smashed this. It's kind of difficult to see where the boat ends and the wreck starts. Now, This, I think, is actually a bit of a gauge bezel. Now, I didn't steal this, so if you're diving this week and it's not there, it wasn't me. I did leave it there for you to have a look at. But again, this is just going back through that swim through bit and just having a look around. And again, just appreciating this, dark environment, this beautiful blue light streaming through. I do kind of find these things kind of... This is the bit of wreck diving that I like. It's not about, all deep and dark. I like this bit. I really do. Yeah, again here, it's looking quite thin, isn't it? I'm not sure how good an idea this is. Now, one thing that always amazes me about divers is we do like something shiny, don't we? And one of the more recognisable bits of this wreck, if only small, is look, there's the top of a sort of gauge here with the chrome brass that people will be keeping clean. And then this is absolutely recognisable, the top of a tap. And it's kind of the only bit that I recognise at all. Now, we're just having a look at this fish here because I've seen these all over the place, and you see these also in the Red Sea, so I don't know if they're invasive or not. This guy was just cool, so I just got a shot of him. No idea what he is. Beautiful little shoulder fish, and what a nice shot. Oh, God, here we go. Do you know, this is the problem with going on holiday with other scuba tubers, is wherever there's a good shot, there's going to be one of us there trying to capture it. So anyway, this is Brian testing out the new Vaquita 2, so if you want to hear his thoughts on that, then do check out his channel. So that's it, guys. The Maori done, and as you can see, here we are in St Elmo's Bay. Now, where we're going to is Manuel Island, which is just over here to the left. There we go. This is it, and it used to be like some kind of like leper colony or something like that. And where we're diving is actually in front of a couple of like old school hospitals where they used to keep like people that were dead and dying. Now, if I just zoom in here, come on, zoom, 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 zoom. Yeah, there we go. You can actually see, there we are. There's a couple of dive vans just there, and that's where we're diving. We're going down them stairs, and the wreck that we're diving, the X127, is just about there. So let's take a look. So I've got to be totally truthful with you here, guys. The X127, not my favourite dive in Malta. In fact, I'm really not very impressed with this wreck at all. It's just so very boring. So the X127, what was it? It was basically, it's a bucket with an engine, and its main roles was just to cruise around the harbour, supplying the Allied ships with fuel and water. So it's just a box with an engine attached to it. And as you can see, the viz is really naff. And I've dove this about, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, and the viz has always been naff on it. So it's just not a particularly exciting wreck, and it's not particularly in a great place. So, but it's one of those things that you will do. It's a checkout dive. It's one of those that the guys will get you to do right at the start of your holiday, just to make sure that you're up to spec. Now, if there's one saving grace for this wreck, you can clearly see why it sunk. So here is a big hole where a German bomb went through. So this is the top of the deck. And then if we just look a little bit down, like, come on camera, focus. The viz is that bad, it's trying to focus on all the plankton and crap. But if you look below that bar, there we go, just there. So, and it basically blew out here. So you can clearly see the damage that actually sunk this wreck. So that's one thing. So I don't know how true this is, but Lee, our dive guide, said that the reason this particular boat got bombed is because they thought it was a submarine, because in and of itself, it's not a particularly high value target. But apparently when this was loaded up with water and fuel, because it was just bobbing around the harbour, it was very low to the waterline. It didn't have to stand too proud. So from the air, it probably did look a little bit like a submarine, which obviously is a high value target. But yeah, it is what it is. Enjoy it for what it is, guys. Go in and have a look at some of the holes. But apart from that, yeah, she's pretty bland. So, for those pottery collectors out there, this site is perfect because it is littered with stuff again from the war and over the years. So this is obviously some sort of naval pottery from back in the day. This is some Byzantine pottery from back in even further in the day. So it's that kind of stuff. If you're interested, there's plenty. But for me, This is the job here. So look at this little guy. This little cuttlefish was absolutely stunning. He's there giving it all the attitude with his tentacles up saying, yeah, I'm going to kill you. And in a minute, you know, you definitely get the sensation that he's looking you straight in the eye and he sort of gets, ooh, look at him, gets a bit feisty, gets a bit perky. But what an absolute star, you know, really sort of calm, didn't shoot away, which I was quite pleased with, and sort of let us take a few photographs and videos. So yeah, what an absolute star this guy was. Just below this little fella was his bigger cousin, and here he is. So a bit calmer than that one, and just sort of sat there again, you know, giving it a bit of attitude, but sort of really rested and settled, and after a few moments really calmed down. Keep giving me the fingers every so often kind of thing, but you know, really quite comfortable with me going around and videoing him and getting a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. So for me, guys, this dive was absolutely saved by this pair. Like I say, not my favourite dive, but one you need to check off. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, go and enjoy it and get it done.
So that's it, guys. Day one done. How was it for you? It was fabulous for me, especially those little cuttlefish. Mwah! Beautiful. If you like this video, do tap that like button and let me know. It lets me know that the stuff I'm making for you is the kind of stuff that you'd like. If you'd like to see anything in particular, then please do leave a comment down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you on day 2 where we're diving Chikawa. Until then.